Discipline and the effects of an actionable plan season 2 is here and is bigger, better than ever before. Just need to give a shout out to Phoebe, especially after the message and advice she has given me in regards to approaching final year. Absolutely follow her on LinkedIn. For the first term of final year, I am studying 4 modules. These include learning and development, global working, theories/practices of leadership, as well as the main one, the best one, global marketing. Firstly, learning and development. It involves writing a written assignment about a week-long training and development plan for a given scenario. We can choose this. We have to go through the lecture content in our own time and 2-hour seminar each week. For global working, we need to do an interview as part of the assessment, as well as writing a written assessment based on the interview and the cultural dimensions and what we found out in regards to that. We have 1-hour lecture and 1-hour seminar each week. Theories and practices of leadership is my only module solely based on an exam, with 1-hour seminar and lecture each week. Last but certainly not least, my favorite module, global marketing. We have to do a written assignment, 3,000 word report on how to internationalize Greggs. So putting Greggs in a completely different country and how does that fare in regards to the marketing, entry mode, so on and so forth. We have 1-hour lecture as well as a 2-hour seminar every 2 weeks. So it's a bit confusing, but we'll get used to it. Timetable for the first day is here. So first day back at university, lots of things have changed, to be fair. What I've just done is a podcast episode. It's something different I'm going to do. I can reveal it now because I'm not going to release this vlog episode for 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 weeks. So I can reveal it here and I'm excited for what's ahead. I've had a meeting about my graduate roles, I've had a meeting about my new role, and I've just done this podcast episode. I've got more to do tomorrow, but I'm excited for what's ahead. Preparing for lectures, half an hour away. But everything's changed and new look, new confidence and excitement. So let's see what happens. Here's a bit of a look. Lectures done and just going back home to devise a plan for graduate scheme applications. My current position right now for applying for graduate scheme roles and the search engines which I use is LinkedIn, Bright Network, and my university career site of Aston Futures. But I will update this as the series goes, hopefully, in case I see any more. I've tried a couple of other ones, but they haven't been my preference, to say the least. Calendar for the 23rd of September, Tuesday. Right now I'm going to be a bit late because the podcast episode recording went a bit over and we had a bit of issues with my camera not showing up, so we're going and seeing what can happen. But it's interesting, I'm going there. I'm nearly going to be 20 minutes late, but attendance should hopefully be good today because I arrived. Let's see. Induction done, and when I went back home I just started getting more familiarized with the tasks which I need to do. Our calendar continues to be big. It was really fun just doing the Cortex stand and just connecting with students and then going to this event to learn more in regards to graduate applications. Recording and editing student ambassador content. Here is a sneak peek. Moving into the 25th of September. First week back to uni has been very interesting. I thought I would have been caught up on everything, but it looks like tomorrow I got a free day, I have a day off, so it looks like I'll have to catch up with things and look back at modules where I'm not strong on the foundations, because that's important. There's marketing modules this year where I have to be on point with everything, and Mike will be hopefully next week we'll be back, and it's just charging at the moment. I haven't used it since my placement, so I've been trying to do more and more. But another podcast episode done, 2 done today. We're all going to put it into one, and it's going to be a very long episode, and I'm going to try to put this recording in after I've done a few more recordings, but yeah, interesting so far, but we got to learn and develop even more. Good start with your attendance, let's keep it going. From Friday to Sunday, I was looking over all of the modules, making sure I was clear on the assignments, which can be seen right here, and when things needed to be done by and the specific parts and so on. Files of the videos which I've done, they didn't properly record, like the sound wasn't there. So the last couple of days I need to just sum it up straight away in this day if I can. So I just know that Aston's changed so much, like the library, it's fully changed. The study, like there's like this study box here, so there's more study boxes. Before there just used to be a table, and it used to be a waste of space because only 2 people could sit on that table, but it took up so much room, so it looks more better. And yeah, 2 episodes done so far. I can reveal Gift and Fareed, both episodes are done. Really funny story. So I was going into the lecture and all the seats were filled except for like 2, and I was going to sit on one seat, and then I just went, leave this seat, I'll just go on the next seat. And then I went to the next seat, I sat down, I said to the person there, can I sit here? They said yeah, and then I said thank you, so on and so forth. And then the lecture was carrying on, and then about 15 minutes when it went into discussion time, the person sat by me said to me that, hey, are you Dilpreet? And I said yeah, and then they said, oh, we are so and so. And then I found out that guy was in my group in my first year of university, in my marketing module group, and we done really well. And I was like, I didn't recognize you to be there because it's been so long, and he's like changed. He doesn't wear hoods and so on, so he looks more cleaner and fresher and so on. So it was nice to meet him. And then after that, I met one like other person who I'm gonna have on the podcast. I bumped into him, and then he introduced me to his friend, and then we were talking, and it was nice. Like, I've connected with so much people already. It's been a few people connected with already, and like the first day I connected with this girl who was in a couple of my lectures in second year. So it's just mad. I just need to be more like alert and concentrated because I didn't recognize the guy sat right by me. So that was a crazy story there. So the next day's been crazy. I had a 9 o'clock lecture and I got there late, which is, I would say, partly my fault because I can't blame the transport and so on and so forth, but it does get crowded at that kind of time, so I need to be more focused and get to doing the getting up and so on more quicker and so on. And I was late, and what was crazy was he was putting everyone into groups, and there was 4 of us who were late, and then he put us into groups, and I was like, this could be a challenge here because if these guys came late they could not be that focused and so on. But we started speaking to each other, and we were fine, and we are all focused on trying to get the working by next Wednesday, and we're focusing on it. And we have the mentality, 2 of us have the mentality to do really well, to show the lecturer that even if we come late we can back it up with a quality provided. So it's exciting to work in that group. And then after that lecture I went to it was like a graduate seminar, like an event. They were talking through CV, they were talking through where to look for roles and just what to do and when applications start and so on. So that was really informative. And the second last thing was I had a marketing lecture, global marketing. It's one of my courses for this year. And yeah, I walked in, and then I asked if I could sit by someone, then I sat by them, and then I spoke to this guy, and I found out he was a marketing student. He speaks nice, he has a good personality, and we just got straight like into it. We were talking fine. He will have lots of knowledge, more specific knowledge, as I'm doing business and management, and I like marketing, but he's doing full marketing. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next. I had a podcast episode, one of the ones which will form my episode, what is going to be the longest episode so far. I'm still editing it. It's going to be Friday, Saturday. I should get 2 parts done of it out of 5. So it'd be interesting. And I had a guest on called Varun, and he said a good point where I was going, oh, I've been late to lectures for the first week and so on and so forth. And he said to me, there should be no stress, to be fair, because if you look at it, it's only week one. They don't really cover lots. They just cover how the modules is going to be, like assignments, deadlines, and so on. So you're focusing on this podcast, and that is a better investment in this first week. Even if you are a bit late, you've came to the lectures, you've been engaging, and you know how the course structure is like. However, you're doing this podcast, you're trying to use this time, so there shouldn't be too much stress because a good sacrifice has been made. And that just made me go, wow, he's just absolutely right. I didn't think about it like that. And that's the great thing about having these podcasts. It's like I go into it as I don't know every single thing, and then I hear something like that, I'd be open, and then I go, okay, this can work a lot for me in my life. Okay, this lesson which they have learned can help me in this situation and so on. So it's been very beneficial, to be fair. And then I had a welcome back program. I seen somebody else who was in my marketing module first year as well, same group as well, and he doesn't really talk much, but he's alright, he's calm. And yeah, we were talking a bit, catching up, and we just carried on, and that was a focus. I think I need to use Friday, Saturday, Sunday for building on my foundation. So looking back at first year modules, building the foundation back, refreshing my memory, and then going into second year modules. One thing which I need to say is my mic. I've been charging it, it's still on red. Once it's green, and it'll be good because it gives better audio and so on. So yeah, that's the focus, and I think with this one I may have to use a tool to get rid of the background noise and so on. Maybe. I'll see how it works, to be fair, but Mike will be coming back very soon, hopefully. So on Friday, I got 2 applications back which want to get me to the next stage. So I got a digital interview stage and I got an online assessment stage. And I've done the online assessment, I've done it, and I'll do the digital interview because it's for a big company on Thursday, which will be one day before the deadline. But hopefully I pass through a few of these and then get to assessment centres and get some offers in straight away, because I want this graduate scheme so much. I want this grad role and I want to secure it as fast as I possibly can. Well, that's the update so far, and 2 other I need to get started back on my search because I haven't done any for 1 week now, so I have to get back onto it right now. Foundation are being built with the modules so far. I went through 5 of my modules from first year out of 8, so we keep on going, we keep on building the foundation. Another webinar attended for a graduate scheme role, a potential. When I reached home, I was spending my time just setting up the Excel sheet to track my graduate scheme, graduate role applications. We are slowly catching back up with university. I've done week 2 in learning and development and theories of practice. In the lecture in the seminar for learning and development, I'm trying connecting to people, but people are focused too much on their own thing, so I didn't really get the chance to connect in an authentic manner. But we keep on going, we keep on pushing. I think that's one of the challenges I've had, even though I've been in first year, second year. That's what's happened. More has been a challenge, but we got to sit and we just got to talk and be authentic, and the right people will talk and carry on. I'm in the library now, so I've got to be a bit quiet, so more ASMR voice and talking. Moving on to Tuesday, I've been able to record my podcast breaks. So for the podcast episode I'm releasing, it's going to be more for a focus on final year, bringing together many university students. I recorded all the breaks and transitions needed for that, so that's done. That's a key part of a podcast for retention and smoothness and to maintain that flow. And also in the lecture, as you can see next, was exciting and thrilling to see and do, and just been catching up the lectures. And then when I was going back home, I bumped into someone. They recognized me. I did recognize them. I went to year 11 with them, so the last time I seen them was in year 11. So it's just insane what is happening, and it's who God is bringing into the chapter in your life, and they come in for a reason to allow you to be more motivated and inspired and just push on. So it's been interesting. I've been meeting and connecting with people who I've not seen for a few years, or in this case 5-6 years. Also today I'm wearing a different outfit, wearing a shirt, body warmer. Reached home and I'm just getting caught up with my reading, especially the essential reading for my modules. So yesterday we had to do this presentation, and we did research, we did do it, and I did well. And the funny thing was I had to use a microphone, and it was a different kind of microphone, but I was doing it too low, and I'm supposed to be more experienced with doing these mics and so on. So that was a funny story there. And then I met two people. I bumped into them who was in my first and second year. It was nice catching up with them. And then when I was heading back to my next lecture, I saw another two people who were in my second year module and really good friends with them and so on. And when I was going back home, I saw somebody else from year 11 in my secondary school, so that was really interesting. So today I've came in a bit earlier. I've got a lecture at 2, but I came in at 10 because I had to do this digital interview for a graduate scheme role. Hopefully I progress to the assessment center because this company is a top one. I don't want to reveal it yet because I want to be in a better stage and so on first. And I've just been spending from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. just catching up on the reading. I've done learning and development, both 2 weeks of reading for that. Now I'm on global marketing. It's more reading this time, but I'm slowly getting through it. It's just a massive setup of final year. You have to do more reading, you have to have more independent studying time, so I need to find a way to incorporate that into my routine and what I set out to do. But it's interesting so far. I'm on the laptop, so that's reading and so on. And then that's just for overwork. The lecture was dedicated to assignment support, and I really liked the lecturer in regards to the energy he was giving to the seminar itself. We are building on from a very strong first week in regards to the attendance. From Friday to the weekend, the plan was all about doing the thumbnail, getting the podcast caption planning done, as well as written posts for my student ambassador roles as well. So that was priority. So let me be honest about today, Monday. And I'm recording this video now because when I woke up I was very enthusiastic about how I wanted to do things, and then I did 2 interviews and an online assessment. These were all like video interviews and online assessments for graduate roles. And after that I felt a bit like my energy was gone. I still managed to catch up and prepare for the lecture 3 by looking at the materials, but in the seminar I wasn't connecting much. It's the same thing for the theories and practice of leadership. That lecture today I wasn't engaging much. However, I did meet somebody else. I bumped into someone who was also in my first year in my marketing module group, my first ever group module. But I feel like because I've done my online assessment and interview 2, so like 4 in total, it just drained too much energy out of me. If I just done 1 or 2 and then did the lecture and then did the remainder, I think I would have been better prepared and I would have had more energy and so on. So that's my focus. And now I've came back home, I've just been posting content for the roles which I have as a student ambassador. And since then, I thought, why not just go over the theories and practice of leadership? And I went through that straight away, and it was interesting. It's just seeing that limit, and it's a mistake which I made, but I've identified it so that it isn't a problem in the latter stages. But week 3, and it's Monday now, so we hope the next few days are better. We have the optimism and the hype, and we keep on going. But that's been a big challenge of today. I've been like going, I want this lecture to end so I can go home, recharge, and then get back to it and build a strong momentum for the end of the day. So right now I'm heading back home. It has been an interesting day. We started off doing the online assessments, and I did them in a way which I had more energy after it, so it didn't deplete me energy compared to yesterday, so that was a good thing. And then I bumped into 2 people, very enthusiastic, very energetic and so on, and passionate. I bumped into them, and those were 2 people I really wanted to bump into and catch up with, and they raised the energy up a bit more. And then I engaged more with the lecture, the seminar. It was theories and practice of leadership. I made sure to just speak to the people beside me, and I sat next to people I didn't know, so it was nice to speak more there. 70% of the trailer is done, and I also met a new friend, as well as bumping into someone when I was walking back home right now who was in my secondary circle. So it's been interesting so far. So after the marketing lecture, and it was really interesting because it was straightforward, and it went into religion and culture and beliefs and languages, and I believe that's something which I've learned in one of my other modules this week in global working. And it's just really interesting because I know how that will fit into the assignment, and then the focus is on Friday, Saturday, Sunday will be on making a start to that assignment plus another assignment too. So that's the plan. We got to get it started. And when I was in the lecture, one of my friends said hi, and she was in my group, second year of university, virtual business manager. It was a nice group, a nice topic, and a nice module, to be fair. And I also met another one of the friends who I know from my group in the second year as well, but in 2 different groups. So it was nice to bump into more people and connect to more people and so on, and see what they're doing and so on. It's nice to, it's a lesson at the end of the day. They're coming in that period for a certain reason, so we got to keep on going and keep on pushing. Trailer's done, and it's scheduled for tomorrow, and I got to start editing the other half of a podcast, so exciting times. Completed online assessments, as well as making progress with the learning and development tasks to start to plan how to complete certain sections. Even more online assessments done, as well as catching up with 3 weeks of reading in learning and development, as well as making a start to global marketing assignment. There have been problems with this week's attendance, however it's too late to fix it, so we got to keep on pushing and going on. Another online assessment, however I didn't do that well today, so I'm not going to really do any more today. Actually started the student ambassador task to try to get as much out as possible. Post schedule set for next week. 3 online assessments done, and then 2 online assessments passed for reaching the next stage, which is the video interview. And it's Sunday the 12th of October. I can't believe how fast it's going. So today so far I went to university, and I was recording a video on the way to university so I can post it in a few days, as it is a part of the 2025 post schedule for this week. and I done an online assessment. And then I got the news that I got a rejection from a company which I really wanted the graduates to give me. However, I'm gonna apply again, different email, change up the CV, and see where I went wrong, and then I'll see what happens in that case. And I just carried on doing my work. I caught with a lecture for today, for learning and development lecture 4, and yeah, after while I was doing this break, I thought I would record more of this vlog-based content, and what I found out was I moved to the interview stage of another company which I liked, and the grad scheme. So up and down so far, you just got to keep on going, and you can't let emotions dictate too much on how you approach things and so on. So I'm continuing to keep going over theories and practice, leadership lecture later, so I'm going to catch up on that. I got about 45 minutes, and then I go to my lecture. So I got a 2-hour lecture and a 1-hour lecture, 1 to 4. So it's going to be exciting, but you just got to keep on pushing and stick to the plan. So to go more into what happened today, I had the learning and development seminar, and then I sat next to 3 people. I came in like 12 minutes late, so that's something I need to work on. One reason could be it's the top floor, 7th floor, so that needs to be taken into consideration. Then we need to get there on time. However, I sat next to 3 people, 3 girls, and yeah, they were nice because I did come in late. However, I just started to speak to them about the task which we had, which was like a group task where we had to work together and so on. And it was nice. I learned more about their perceptions and so on. And then one of them carried on, and I found out we have the same lecture just after the learning and development one, in theories and practice of leadership. I sat by her, continued to speak to her, and it was nice. I connected with more people, and then I met somebody else who sat by me, who was in my group in my 2nd year at university for a module. I remember it was a virtual business manager module. It was like a simulation decision-making module. And then as I was about to go out of university, I met another one of my friends who is going to appear on the podcast, Desire to Inspire podcast, for final year students. So it's been good. And then since I came back home, I've been trying to I've applied for another 2 grad schemes, and I've done an online assessment. We got to keep on carrying on, and yeah, I've sorted out description for the podcast, and it's going to be a big week this week. I've got energy and excitement. Yeah, it's night time right now. It's nearly coming 11 o'clock, and I've done a video interview for another graduate role, and it was a different one. It was 8 questions, so it was a tough one, but kept eye contact with the camera. Stuttered at one point, but I just kept on going. And I think what I need to do is mention that, because what I've got in the past is in placement applications, they sometimes think that I don't know what I'm saying or that I'm stuck. So I need to mention that more in my applications today, just more for future graduate schemes. However, going more into today, I had a global working lecture, and then I just found out there was no lecture material. It was just going through the coursework, and I was really happy because it let me focus on doing what was needed, and that there was good structure, and I needed to make a start to that assignment because the deadline's 12th of December, Friday, so I need to get that done 2 months time. Yeah. And then I had a leadership seminar, and then I spoke to 2 people I connected with them, because we had a group task. We had to speak and handle a certain situation with a few questions, so it was like a case study type of thing, and it was good. And then I spoke to both of them. It was nice. And then I bumped into someone from who I knew from a secondary school who I didn't know went to Aston, and he didn't know that I went to Aston. So that was shocking as well. But it's nice to see people. And then I went to the library, got head on my ambassador tasks, and then I went more into lecture content, getting more caught up, and then I bumped into someone else when I was coming back home. So it's just shocking. I keep on bumping into people, but it just shows that people are coming in for a reason, and it's for me to keep inspired and continue to be determined, focused, and in the present moment to have those conversations. Today I've just done another video interview, and what happened today was I went to the global working seminar. It was more about the coursework, so that was exciting to not look more into theories and stuff, and just it helped me to be more caught up and focus more on reading and so on. And the great thing about it is I sat on the table, I was contributing to the conversation with 3 or 4 people, and then I also spoke to the lecturer too, so that was great. Then I had theories of practice, leadership, caught up on that, but I got a rejection message about a role which I really wanted. And it wasn't great at first, but I just carried on throughout the day, carry on. Then I had a webinar, then I had another webinar, but the second webinar wasn't loading, but I just showed grit and determination, carried on. Then it started working. I was 15 minutes late, but it was alright. It was more of an information kind of sharing thing in regards to the graduate schemes at a certain company, which was Mondelez in this case. And it was interesting. It was cool because 20 minutes after that, I got a message that is saying a company wants to take me to an assessment center, which is great news, which is perfect news. I just need to sort out one thing. I just need to inform them of this thing, and hopefully I can get to that assessment center. But it just shows that if you showcase that grit, if you showcase that determination, I was thinking like, I got the rejection message. I could just go, oh, 3 days not gonna work out for me. I should just not carry on, so on and so forth. But what I did was I just carried out throughout the day. I went to the lecture, done the webinars, continued to learn, improve, get better. And then I got that message, and now I came back, I sent out another message about that role, and I've tried to apply for more roles as well, because I want to try to get an offer by the end of this year, so I'll be in a better situation. So that's what it was. And tomorrow there has to be a focus on starting that global marketing report, not just starting it but making huge progress. I want to get intro done, internal research, the company table, and comparison as well. So that's the focus for tomorrow. Yeah, just show grit and determination. If things aren't going right, make sure your mind is strong and you just focus on the next bit of momentum or progress that you can take. So I came in early and was getting caught up with marketing and starting my global marketing report, making progress with that. I believe I did make some progress. And then I got some news that I got a rejection from the assessment center, which I was talking about yesterday, because of a certain thing that I informed them about, which does make sense because I thought that would have been challenging, and it was. So it did hurt at first, but it shows that I made it to that stage, so I can go to more companies and get to that stage and get to the final hurdle here. And I just had a seminar now. I met with one of my friends from second year in the module we did together. She was nice. She had a seminar, I think, so she went, and I'm going home right now, just trying to go through all these stairs instead of taking the lift. And I thought it's just a great conversation for doing this type of video. And then kept on going, and I believe it's this one. Yeah, it is. that's it really. And it's getting really noisy here. It's getting really noisy here. The could not be spots. I'll seem that I was not doing it right or appropriately. I have to include more information in the report. So that's my focus right now, to work on shifting that approach and then moving forward. That's what we have to do. And yeah.
Perfect this week, and I had to rectify the performance after last week's attendance.
On Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I wanted to make better progress with the marketing report and get caught up with the next week of reading. However, the last few days was focused on getting the podcast episode out, and I did get the editing done. I did get the thumbnails, the timestamps, over caption, description, everything was perfect, except Saturday night I started to export it, but it didn't really export. So Sunday morning I woke up with a fresh mind and I tried it again. It exported, but then it wasn't processing on YouTube. Then I wanted to release it by 3 p.m, 4 p.m. It didn't process. Then I tried to get it by 6 p.m, but it processed at like 9 p.m. And I just thought I'll just post it on Monday. And I've let all the guests know, and they said, yeah, it's fine, things happen and processing takes time. So the focus for the next few days and this week is to get caught up on reading, start that marketing report. Like, I have started it, but I want to make more progress with it. That's the focus, but it's not to have too much tension. These things happen, but we got to remain strong and focused. I got an online assessment to do and a video interview before the end of today, so we keep on going.